Isn't it interesting that we now live in a time where we have 4 generations in the workforce at the same time? Baby boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, and now Gen Z. This is presenting some unique challenges for leaders trying to lead their organizations with a group that has 4 very different viewpoints on things like work style, communication, and even corporate culture. How do you lead effectively across all generations? Well, I'm passionate about leadership, especially generational leadership. And when I go into an organization or a group to speak, I want to engage leaders into the topic by delivering on what I call the 3 E's. I want to engage them, entertain them, and educate them.
My name is Dominic Pachillo, and I'm the president and license holder of TEDx Grand Canyon University. TED is a global speaking platform, and because of that, we have a very rigorous process that needs to be followed so that we know what is on our stage will truly inspire audiences. And Jeff Orr, he exceeded those expectations. Now, Jeff is one of the most charismatic and engaging speakers that you have ever heard.
These young millennial leaders want to know that they've got a future in your organization. Yes, they like the artisan lunches and they like the gym in the office, but they want to know they've got a future where they can learn and grow and achieve and lead. And they want to know that that future is relatively soon. These millennial leaders are your competitive edge. They're sitting in your workforce right now. How can you engage them? Well, I'm going to give you 3 specific ways to engage them in just a minute, but first I want to talk about one of the challenges I see with this group. One of the major challenges I see with millennial leaders, quite frankly, they just don't have much patience. All right, so it's my fault, my generation's fault, we'll take responsibility. After all, we created the millennials, right? We put rubber mats under their playgrounds and stuck a helmet on their head and wrapped them in bubble wrap so they wouldn't get hurt. Then we created technology that made information plentiful and instant. And we created a world where if you can't get what you're looking for in 30 seconds, it's just too long. We have an environment where faster is better. You can learn just about anything you need from a video. And then we sensationalize a few young entrepreneurs who go from 0 to billionaire seemingly overnight. And then we wonder why millennial leaders expect to be promoted in 1 to 2 years. We created the expectation. Let's face it, we live in a noisy world, and there are a lot of messages competing for our attention as leaders. I make sure to engage leaders where they're at, and I use entertainment as part of it. I will utilize different art forms such as video, lighting, staging, and music to help people connect with my message. I'm a high-energy communicator, and I use humor and stories to help leaders connect with the topic. And I bring that all together with real-world research to educate and give practical application to what they are learning. I think every college student should have to plant a garden and harvest it in a year in order to graduate. It's delayed gratification. Nothing teaches it like planting a garden. I remember when my wife and I lived in Western New York State. We had a small house, but a fairly large backyard. And she grew up gardening, so one day she says to me, "Hey, we should plant a garden." Now, if you've been married longer than an hour, guys, you know that when your wife says we should do anything, really means you need to do this, I'm going to supervise. So we planted a garden. This wasn't a box garden, okay? Since I'm having to do some of this, this is a man's garden, okay? Big vision. So I plot out 12-foot by 18-foot section. I'm clearing out the dirt, and yes, we did plant the garden. And so we're tilling it so she plants her seeds, her tomato seeds, her sunflower seeds, and then green beans and pumpkins. And I'm watering it all in, thinking this is gonna be great. And I'm watering and watering. And after 3 days of watering, I look down, I don't see anything growing. How long is this gonna take before I can have a tomato? I should ask the master gardener. So I go inside and say, "Master gardener, I don't see anything growing. How long will it take before I can have a tomato?" And my wife looks at me, shakes her head, gives me that look that said, "Oh, I love you, but you're an idiot. Here's the packet of tomato seeds." And I look at the packet and it says, "Harvest in 110 days. 110 days, that's nearly 4 months. That's what they made grocery stores for. You just go down to the grocery store and you get a tomato, 10 minutes, you're eating it, you're happy. In fact, I often will give actionable items to the audience to implement in their work that day, the next day, and into the weeks to come, so they can realize a change in their leadership for the better. I don't want to just give information. I want to see transformation.
Jeff came out in January of 2019 and opened our spring semester. And I'm glad he came. While I enjoyed Jeff's presentation, which was awesome, the validity of Jeff's impact has been felt for the weeks to come.
Every generation matters, and every generation has great potential. Yes, we have our differences, but we have more in common than most leaders think. And what we have in common makes us stronger, more innovative, and more effective. I speak to today's leaders on generational leadership to give them the tools they need to connect with and develop the next generation. My approach and attitude in speaking is to serve you. I will spend time talking with the person bringing me in to speak so I get a thorough understanding of your situation. I think through how I can best serve you and your group and customize my talk to meet your needs. My goal is to make you look good and to elevate your leaders to see that they really can achieve the vision set before them. This really is about the message and the transformation that can happen when leaders understand and implement new ideas and perspectives on leading across the generations.
Based upon the experience we've had with Jeff Orr at Ottawa University, Arizona, I would highly recommend Jeff to come and speak for your organization. If you're looking for someone who's going to lay the groundwork for a successful new year and new beginnings, contact Jeff.
I highly recommend Jeff for your next speaking engagement. Not only is he a charismatic man, he will partner with your team and live out everything that he is speaking to your audience about.
I would love the opportunity to talk to you about how I can inspire your leaders with what I do and how together we can see your leaders achieve the vision and purpose that will unite your generational workforce and move your organization forward.